Hello everybody and welcome live to the Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. It is November 2nd here at Racing Hotspot. We'd like to first, actually you know what, no. It's November 3rd, 4th. We're recording this on a Tuesday. We are a day late because we wanted to make sure we got all your up-to-date NASCAR news just to make sure that we're all set. As far as any penalties that are handed down, there are none as of right now. A little later on, we'll have Dave join us, and then, actually, I have to text him. Then we'll have the rest of your show. He'll give his input on the race in Texas. Then that will be our show. Okay, so a lot of things happened this weekend. Here is your motorsports and show lineup. Motorsports in 60. Then we have Formula One. We go to NASCAR. We'll take a break. We'll have the points championship, and we'll have the final lap. So here we go. Motorsports in 60. 2 topics tonight. 60 seconds is on the clock now. The Windstar World Casino 350 at Texas Motor Speedway was raced on Friday night. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th, Timothy Peters. Tyler Reddick finished 4th. Matt Crafton finished 5th. Tyler Reddick finished 4th. Timothy Peters finished 3rd. Jeb Burton finished 2nd. And Kyle Busch won the race. That was a wreck-filled race. Caution after caution. Caution fever, as you would say. Yeah. NASCAR Nationwide Series raced the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge at Texas Motor Speedway. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th was Matt Kenseth. Chase Elliott finished 4th. Ryan Blaney finished 3rd. Joey Logano finished 2nd. And Kyle Busch won that race. So after 2 races the weekend, it was looking real good. The possibility of a Kyle Busch Texas sweep. But it didn't happen, as we know. United States Grand Prix was raced on Sunday afternoon. It was at a reasonable time, so we were able to watch. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th, Valtteri Bottas. Felipe Massa finished 4th. Daniel Ricciardo finished 3rd. Nico Rosberg finished 2nd. And Lewis Hamilton won the race. So that was the United States Grand Prix. It was a great race. Circuit of the Americas is a fantastic facility. I am amazed by it. Love to see a NASCAR race get there, but you never know. There's a lot of things going on. Of course, Texas has Texas Motor Speedway, but in all honesty, you do have, in California they have 2 tracks. Virginia they have 2 tracks. Virginia they have 2 tracks. Florida they have 2 tracks. South Carolina they have 2 tracks. You get the point. Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna quickly, actually, you know what? Now we're gonna move that break up a segment. We're gonna take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we'll have me and Dave here reviewing your NASCAR recap. So we'll be right back. Welcome back live here to Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. We told you on the other side of the break we'd come back with Dave, and he's over there on the screen. So he's back after a couple weeks of being away, and now you're back for a while.
I hope so.
Well,
actually, the season will be over before I go back to dealing with the final end of my current situation, so I should be able to pull it off.
Yeah, and then you have 2 months of recovery. off season,
Yeah.
and then you're back in February.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be 2 months, and I may actually be in Florida in February.
Oh.
Yeah, well, your aunt has decided they're going to build a smaller home because it's pretty soon going to be just the two of them. And obviously, you've been there. That's way too big for just two people. And she decided to get rid of a lot of stuff. So she's basically hiring me to come down there and sell it off. So it's going to be I might be down there for like a month.
Oh. So you'll be down.
I don't know.
You'll be down in Florida for Daytona. Okay, we see how this is working.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get to go to Daytona because I will be quite busy. You've been in that house.
Yes, I have.
If she's selling all of that stuff, yeah, that's a full-time job.
Good luck. Okay, so let's go over the NASCAR review real quick, or the top 5. Okay, there we go. AAA Texas 500 was 2 nights ago. Like I said before, we were recording this on Tuesday. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th, Jamie McMurray. Kyle Busch finished 4th. Brad Keselowski finished 3rd. Kevin Harvick finished 2nd. And Jimmy Johnson won the race. So that means now 2 races into the Eliminator round and 2 different winners that aren't chase drivers. Which is putting all 8 drivers in open game going into the last race before we cut down 4.
What kills me, though, is they were both Hendrick drivers. And, well, I can't say that Jimmy had a realistic opportunity, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. definitely had an opportunity to let Jeff Gordon win that. And, as Rick Hendrick put it, it's up to them. He's not going to make anybody do anything. But I think that, I know the win means a lot, but I really do believe that if I was in that position, well, let's say if I was Mark Martin, okay, I know he's not in anymore, but I am relatively confident that if Mark Martin was still in the 5, and it was him that was going for that win, he would have let Gordon win it. This is Richmond I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Last week. As for this week, well, that was just a mess. And overall, I don't actually think, now that I've reviewed it a million times, I really don't think that Keselowski did anything wrong. I really don't. He was doing the same thing everybody else was doing, especially those who were in the championship run. Whatever it takes to win, to get, to Homestead, because you're in the final. It's it. This is it. One of the frustrating things that I read earlier, though, it almost wiped me out. I think I can officially say I am not an Austin Dillon fan. I'm not going to say I don't like him, but realistically, with how he's been running, if Kyle Busch didn't get, well, let's just call it creams from behind by somebody who, I don't know, couldn't figure out he needed to stop, he'd either be first or second right now. It would be him or Dale Earnhardt Jr. is what I was reading. So even for Dale Earnhardt Jr., I mean, well, granted, something didn't take him out. He kind of took himself out of it, but that's got to be hard. I mean, being where, realistically speaking, if you did not have that one bad day, those two would be running for the top 2 positions right now. And they couldn't even, what they were saying is too much math to bother figuring out to see who would be in the lead, but it would be one or the other. And that's what, as for this past weekend, like I said, I don't really think that Keselowski did anything that I probably wouldn't have done myself. Because, hey, you want to win. You want to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go about it right? Not necessarily. But Gordon definitely left him an open door. Now, just because they were going to go into the turn where they're now out does not mean that Brad couldn't have gotten through timely. I believe from what I was looking at that Gordon actually wrecked himself because when he saw Brad coming, he tried to block him out. And at that point in time, he should have just stayed where he was, slung it hope for the best and fought it out on the next lap. I mean, you were right there at the end anyway. But it's intriguing. And what you told me, and I have not seen yet. I actually did just watch Race Hub, but I was trying to eat dinner and talking to several different people, as I just told you before. I don't know about the what NASCAR handed down. I don't get the point in punishing the crew chiefs. Is that because the teams were in there fighting? And if that's the case, well, it's a team sport. It's a contact sport, just like Pemberton put it in his interview. It is a contact sport. These things are going to happen, whether it be with a car or whether it be in person. Actually, their preference is in person, is what he said during the interview I watched. I don't know if you saw that one. And yeah, of course the team's going to be involved in it. And the video they have out that I don't know if you've seen that one yet, but they're questioning whether it was Gordon that even hit him. I can't tell. I mean, I've watched it several times. I cannot tell. Whoever it was does look a lot like Jeff, but he ducks down too fast to really be able to tell. And it's quite apparent that Keselowski was hit way more than once anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been a team member, but I don't think that they should be held responsible for anything more than the driver would or anybody else. It was just, to me, I think that they should have just let it go. I mean, have at it, boys. And with this new format, well, yeah, people are going to get stressed. I mean, it's hard. There's no real creating any room anymore. It's either you're in, or you're out. I'm going to have to grab a picture of you.
Yeah, and something just to fill time as you're blowing your nose. You said that you really don't know if it was Gordon that hit him or a crew member. They're wearing the same fire suits, almost like the same design.
Yeah.
So
yes, and there are a couple of Jeff's crew members that actually do look like him. They're taller, but they actually do similar. They do look similar to him.
yeah,
I looked back in one of the NASCAR Illustrateds where they had a thing on his team where they do it in every magazine, different teams. I don't know if you ever noticed that, where they do the whole crew.
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
about their size, their height, their weight, education, potentially what they had previously done before working for Hendrick Motorsports. Because those guys actually used to be, well, not all of them, I guess, at this point, but they were Jimmy Johnson's crew a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
When they did the swap. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those guys are still there from Jimmy Johnson's championship team. Yes, they protect their driver. I would too. I was surprised Rick himself wasn't in there throwing fists. Hey, a little old for that, but still, it would have been funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, one thing that my dad and I pointed out, and I think you would agree with me, is that entire outcome. Actually, we talked about it last night or the night before. That entire fight probably would have changed or would have been different if Harvick hadn't pushed Keselowski. Because
yeah, that was funny. I'm sorry, that was just funny. Because it was what made it really funny was the fact that he did turn and ran. He didn't want to be in it. He just wanted to push him into it. And he knew once he pushed him into that crowd, well, it was like basically throwing a match on gas. And it worked. It was, yeah. I think that if there should have been any punishment at all, it should have been Harvick. And I don't even believe that should have been. I think they should have just let it go completely. Just like he said right after, or post-race, Pemberton was interviewed. And he said, yeah, he's like, I really, there's not much really I can do here yet. The pressure is more than we anticipated, and you're going to have to expect this. And like I think I said in my notes, is this reminds me of the old days. This is actually what got me into racing in the first place. Not that I'm, an advocate of fighting, but it makes it exciting. It makes it more interesting. Actually, I heard about a football game that was going on Friday during the race. Same situation, where they actually had to stop the game. The referees got together in a group and basically said, okay, they went out and did the on-speaker announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And basically told everybody, either this stops or the game stops. And next thing you know, they all stopped. It's as simple as that. But football's a little bit of a different thing. It's actually a lot bit of a different thing. But they are both contact sports, no matter how you look at it. Guys hitting guys, or cars hitting cars. It's all really relative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
That should have just been let go. Either that, or they should have called it under caution, said, guys, enough, and then went from there. And then that would give them the right to penalize.
yeah.
At that point, if they called it. But, like I said, Pemberton, after the race, he said that he didn't feel there was any due punishment here. And then you tell me they punished the crew chiefs. So that's just silly. What was it, fines?
Yeah, it was fines and suspensions. Now, the reason being, and I read into it after we had talked, was the crew chiefs are responsible for their crew members, as you can imagine. So,
as well as their driver.
Yeah.
So, Hall of Fame.
Well, Jeff Gordon's crew chief was penalized, and Casey Kane's crew chief was penalized. Now, when I heard Casey Kane's crew chief was penalized, I thought, what the? But
Oh, was that from the week before?
no, if you watch some of the video, you see a mix of Casey Kane's crew members in there fighting.
Yeah, to me it looked like about 5 or 6 teams were mixed in there.
Yeah, and
All the officials and whatnot that are in that.
yeah, and the major one was behavior against a stock car. And when I read that, I went, what? But then I went back and looked at the video. There's a different video, and about 5 or 6 Jeff Gordon crew members actually hit, kicked, punched Brad Keselowski's race car.
Yeah, that's kind of silly. The car didn't do anything.
No, no, not that, but
Realistically speaking, if a car could take control and cause such havoc, well, you know what? Sorry, it can't. So no, I don't see that being righteous. And as a team owner, I'd be a little upset because that's not exactly a cheap car.
no. But if you go to NASCAR.com, and you guys can do too, it's the main headline right now. No drivers were penalized, just crew chiefs, and it explains everything. And it was basically behavior against a race car, behavior with the teams, stuff like that. And after you read it...
Honestly, it just seems to me, you said Casey Kane's team did that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit of a weak thing to me. It's like kind of, running away from the fight or something like that. That's kind of weak.
I don't know. But after you read it, and then you watch a video, or watch the video and then read it, or do something, you understand it a little better, like going, oh, that's where NASCAR's coming from. Because I did that. I read it, watched the video, read it again, and watched the video while reading it on my iPod and the computer, and I'm like, okay, I can see it now. So it takes a couple times.
There was a lot to watch there. There were so many different camera angles that came out like within the next 24 hours that it was unbelievable watching the stuff. Like just on Facebook alone, because I follow all of the different teams and all the different drivers, NASCAR, Fox, Fox Sports 1, NBC, ESPN, all of the above, and they were all just pounding it out right after that race was over. It was just like, that's all I was getting on my page.
Yeah.
On my Facebook page. All about racing and all what happened and different views, different angles. And what I did not know, and I find very interesting also, is that a lot of the networks that aren't actually the official network covering the race, they're still there. They're still there, and they're filming it.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that's it is permitted, and I believe that's for future stuff like replay stuff, and like when Fox comes back in the winter in full form, they'll be able to use a whole bunch of different stuff, and to remind you of how last season went. even though it was being covered by, I guess this was, what is NBC, is ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN, ABC.
ABC?
Yeah.
I was getting messed up. I mean, trying to follow television contracts is like so tough.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's NBC that's out now. They're not in anymore, right?
No, NBC's next season.
They are next season? Who was it that got out?
ESPN and TNT.
ESPN and TNT. So they're not in it at all next year. See, that's not what I had understood. I thought that it was NBC that's been covering it since like the dawn of time, and they were not going to be in it next year. So maybe I just got that wrong. I don't know.
No.
Turner's got some stuff going on. He killed my Cartoon Network.
They killed.
You guys still get Cartoon?
Yeah.
Right. On my TV, it just says Turner has. What is it? Hang on a second. Being it's right in front of me, I'll take a look. What are your faces for? Important stuff. Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network was removed by Turner. That's it. That's all it says. It's still there, but it doesn't play anything. There's no cartoons on. There's no, like my shows that I watch to go to bed, Family Guy and American Dad, nothing. They're all gone. It's weird because I don't understand. Like, what is it? They couldn't figure out a contract or something? What happened? How does a network just turn itself off? But I guess it's because I have Dish and you have Metrocast.
Yeah.
You guys still get it because apparently Metrocast was able to make an agreement or paid whatever ridiculous amount of money Turner wanted. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But as for next season, I'm not really sure. I can't follow all that. Who's going to be covering and who's not. But I thought that it was one of the major networks that was gone.
Yeah.
They weren't coming back.
ESPN's been following it since gosh knows when.
And they're out?
Yep.
And they're connected with ABC?
Yep.
Dizzying. I got it all wrong, so it's ABC that's out, not NBC.
Yeah.
I know Fox ain't going anywhere.
No, Fox is covering like half the season next year. They're
getting to the point where they're almost nothing but sports.
Yeah.
They even gave up American Dad. That moved to TNT, as in the new shows.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. I mean, does that mean Family Guy is going to move, or? And if so, why? It was a major lure for them. Great advertising rates they were able to charge because people watched it.
Who knows? Who knows? All right. Well, let's move on here to the points championship. Okay. So we'll keep you on just for the heck of it. Here are your winners' picks for Texas. Trooper had Keselowski, Dave had Carl Edwards, Joe had Dale Earnhardt Jr., I had Kevin Harvick, Kristen had Jimmy Johnson, rigged, and Art had Joey Logano.
For some reason we weren't expecting to do this well.
What?
Your mom.
I know, right? Seriously, what the heck? Anyways, here's how it...
I am a two-time champion. Nobody else can say that. Two-time champion. This year I suck. It is what it is.
Yeah, you bring in actual good competition and he crushes under pressure. Anyways, Trooper got 0 points. Dave got 3rd place equaling 6. Joe got 4th place equaling 4. I got 5th place equaling 2 points. Kristen got the win plus 5 points because her 1st place pick was the actual winner, so she got a total of 15. And Art got 2nd place equaling 8. Let's look at the standings here.
I was going to pick Johnson, too.
You should have.
And I had a chance because I would have been picked it before she did, so.
I was going to pick him.
The loser is picked first.
The standings goes like... The standings goes like this. Kristen is leading now by 1 point over Art. I am in 3rd with 41 points out. Joe is in 4th, 56 points out. Dave is in 5th, 62 points out. And Trooper is in 6th. 43 points out. No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on one second.
Yeah, gotta do the math on that one, buddy.
One standby. He's 93 points out. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, the way we are doing the championship picks this year, and I forgot to tell you this, is since we usually make our champions picks, we...
I'm curious, where is the camera on it? I don't even know where it is.
Your thumbs.
I guess I got it, right?
Your thumb's over it. Welcome back.
Could you see my thumbprint?
It's very blurry. Anyways, the way we're doing our champions pick...
Pop you, I can just go... There you go. Oh, I like that. Now I know where it is.
Oh my god. The way we're doing our champions pick this year is since it'll be the final four, the top four in this chase standings will make their picks. The bottom two won't. So, this is how currently Kristen, Art, me, and Joe get to make our champion picks for the bonus points, and you and Trooper are not in it. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless we do something in the next race.
Yep, that's what it's currently saying. After Phoenix, it could totally switch, you know. You know how it is.
Not likely.
Well, you never know. You could pull a Jimmy Johnson. All right, let's...
Yeah, I got the shave.
Let's go to the final...
What do you think I shaved for?
Let's go to the final lap here. IndyCar is off till 2015. Formula One races Sunday, 11 a.m. on NBC Sports Network. Then Global Rallycross, they're racing tomorrow actually, but because of it's a Wednesday race, they'll have it on delayed till November 16th. That's when we'll have coverage of it because we don't want to give a spoiler. Two United Sports Car Championships done for the year. Now the trucks are racing Friday night on Fox Sports 1. They are racing at Phoenix. Nationwide Series Saturday 4 p.m. on ESPN. They are also racing at Phoenix. And the Cup Series is 3 p.m. on ESPN. They are also racing at Phoenix. And I can already hear the bell and let's get ready to rumble for Phoenix's Cup race.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. And then you really got to think about it. How crazy is Homestead going to be? Because it'll be down to 3 guys, right?
4.
4?
Yep.
12. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so 4. And it wouldn't matter if they all wreck each other in the beginning of the race and come in 43rd, 42nd, 41st, and 40th. Whoever finishes 40th is your Cup champion.
Yep.
That's insane. I'm sorry. It just really is. You got to do the best you can to be in the best position you can, and not screw it up. That's pretty wild. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, not to mention if, let's say, Keselowski gets to that championship round and Gordon doesn't, imagine that. Gordon's just like, I'll end your championship hopes right now. Who knows?
Yeah, actually they were talking about that on Race Hub as to what kind of damage people can do to each other at this point. And the fact that most likely some stuff's not going to be forgotten.
All right, well...
I think it'd be interesting to see Ryan Newman take it. That would be really, really wild.
Yeah.
And the main reason I say that is because he hasn't won a race. So if he actually squeaks through and wins the championship without even winning a race, that would be pretty crazy. And statistically, in the beginning of the season, I don't believe they even thought that was possible.
No.
I don't know. Who would I like to see? Probably Jeff Gordon.
All right. Well, I'm not sure who I'm pulling for yet. I'm gonna wait till the final 4 because my guy who I was pulling for got taken out in round 1. So.
No, you still have Harvick though, right? Isn't he your boy's boy?
Kinda, yeah. My Stewart's guy. Yep. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
If I had to guess, he's going to make it. I got the feeling Newman's going to make it. Gordon's going to make it. And probably Logano. That'll be my bet for Homestead.
See, I'm looking right now on my lock screen. I have the 8 drivers. So I'm looking at Harvick, Keselowski, Kenseth, and Edwards.
That's who's what, leading the points right now, or?
No, that's who my pick to move on are.
That's your thought. Okay, gotcha. Well, we all have our opinions.
Yeah.
This year, mine haven't been very good.
No, as we have seen.
That would mean second to last.
Even with the chase, I was throwing a bone at you. I'm thinking, hey, win, win, win. Even though you might be 6, you might go to the top, and you.
No. When your little chase rules started, I was actually starting to catch the lead.
Yeah. What happened?
And what? You knocked me down because I didn't win, or some adjunct junk that you just decided to throw in. Rule makes right along as you go along.
Hey, I haven't.
It's benefiting you, so I can't really cry too much.
Yeah, I haven't touched the rules at all the last couple weeks.
The last couple weeks.
Probably
I haven't been around the last couple weeks.
Probably the rest of this. All right. Well, any final thoughts from you going into Phoenix or from Texas?
I think it's gonna be awesome, right?
I know.
I got nothing more. What do we have left? It's just Phoenix and Homestead, right?
Yep.
Wow, scary. Another season down, huh?
Yep. Very scary. I remember when
You have, what, 3 years?
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I personally have gone to races for, I don't even know, a lot of years.
Well, next year will be my 10th season going to NASCAR races.
Well,
10 years of dragging me to that.
I think next year is 20 for the family. Dad and myself. And when we originally got the big old blocks, I think that was before you were even able to come. That was, I think your dad came to a few, and yeah, wow, what an amazing thing. The time just goes.
Yep.
Actually, right now, as you know, because of my current in and out of the hospital situation, the faster time goes, the better. So I'm not exactly crying about it.
Yeah, we only have a couple more weeks of shows, and then we're done for the year.
Yep.
And I remember when it feels like just yesterday I was redoing the studio before the season, and now we're coming to another off season to make it all pretty again for next season.
I'll tell you a secret though, bud. If you think this year went fast, guess what? The older you get, the faster it goes.
I have a feeling. All right, well, that will do it for this week's show. The first part of the show is only like 5 minutes, and now we're probably 3 hours in. So we're gonna. That's gonna do it for us this week.
Back.
You're back. Yes, you are. Hopefully, maybe next weekend you'll be in studio. If not, Google Hangout seems to be working perfect. So.
No, I prefer to be in the studio. You know how I kind of don't like this, and I'm not sure I like being on camera at all. If people enjoy it, well, good.
All right, so you just made me have to create a contract for you to sign for next season.
It's about time.
Oh, wow. All right, so until we see each other next weekend after the race at Phoenix and also the Formula One race, I'm not sure where they are, but until we see each other after next weekend's round of racing, have a good week, everybody, and goodbye.
Enjoy the chase, folks.